When it comes to real estate, there's plenty of sayings and phrases that people will use when it comes to their business or buying real estate in general. One of them is always buy the worst house in the best neighborhood. But is that really the best philosophy to use if you're buying a house to flip or invest in? Stay tuned to the rest of this video and we'll find out why this may or may not be something that you should pay attention to. Hi, my name is Amber Miller, and for the past 15 years, I have been buying, renovating, and selling houses, otherwise known as flipping. I'm a real estate agent, a designer, a renovation expert, and an investor myself. And today I'm going to talk about 4 reasons why buying the best house in the worst neighborhood may not always be the best option. Number 1, if the house doesn't have the foundation or the bones to be a good investment, then it doesn't really matter what location it's in. There has to be some key characteristics of a home for it to really be the best house in the worst neighborhood. Something that's obviously a completely different type of structure than anything else in that area, or something that maybe doesn't even have the same lot size or view or potential. Maybe it's on a busy street, maybe it backs to a commercial property, whatever it may be, there might be something about that house, despite the fact that it's in a great neighborhood, that doesn't quite align with the other properties in the area. So you definitely want to make sure you're on the lookout for that, and you don't want to ever buy a property, even if it's in a great location, if it has something that is fundamentally different or odd or negative about it. All right, number 2, does the property have room for both the purchase, the renovation, and profit for resale? There's plenty of houses that are maybe a little bit dated, maybe a little bit run down, could maybe use a little bit of an extra boost as far as curb appeal. There's plenty of houses like that in great neighborhoods. But when it comes down to it, real estate investing and flipping in particular is based off profit. So if there's not enough room between what that house can be purchased for and what it can sell for after improvements have been done, then it's going to need to be a pass. So a good kind of guideline that I like to tell people is useful when they're trying to make a quick analysis on a property is if you can find a property that is roughly 50% purchase price, what it would be if it was renovated and sold. So a $300,000 house, if you know that that home, when improved, would sell reasonably for about $600,000 based off the bedrooms and bathrooms, square footage, style of the home, and comparable sales, then that's likely going to be a flip that would give you enough room for both that renovation margin, and also the profit. And also accounting for any other expenses that you might have, like your holding costs, interest, insurance, utilities, taxes, those types of costs. All right, number 3, how is the location really? And I talked a little bit about this in the first bullet point about the foundation, the bones of the house. Does it have that potential? Is there unfinished square footage you can add? Is it a house that doesn't have something that it could easily have added to it? But when it comes to location, like I said, not all locations are equal just because they're in the same neighborhood. There's plenty of neighborhoods where some homes might be across the street from a park or across the street from a school or back to a commercial building. Those are all very different types of locations within a same neighborhood that can affect the value. If you've got a grocery store in your backyard that's having deliveries at 5 o'clock in the morning, that's not going to be the same experience as being across the street from a neighborhood park where kids gather. So you want to make sure that you're using a lens of a buyer when you're looking at those different areas and assessing the property values correctly. The best thing you can do is try to find comparable sales that are on that same block or within that same area to give you the best idea of what the value truly is. And number 4, do you have a realistic backup plan? If the flip doesn't work out, is there another strategy that you could use that would still make this project a great property to flip? So think about rentals. both long-term and short-term. So if you're thinking about that, one of the things you're going to want to also check on is what are the licensing requirements and what is the availability in the city or the municipality that you're working in that allows short-term rentals. Some cities have started to restrict those a bit, so you don't want to go into a project thinking, well, if the flip doesn't work out, I can do a short-term rental, only to find out that the city doesn't allow that. So make sure you have your eyes wide open, make sure you've done your due diligence, and you know what your options are in case the flip does not go the way that you had intended with a sale at the end. Or maybe you get to the end of the project and you realize there's actually a little bit more potential long-term for me if I keep this and hold it as a long-term rental, a mid-term rental, or even a short-term rental. So having a realistic backup plan is going to also be a necessity when you're trying to decide what you're going to be doing with your project, no matter what location it is in. So does buying the worst house in the best neighborhood always equal flipping success? Not exactly, but using these 4 tips to try to figure out what your best options are, and really if you truly are buying the worst house in the best neighborhood, will help you determine your flip success in the future. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Every single week I've got another video coming out that walks you through different parts of the process of flipping houses, the renovations, the designing, the purchasing, the finding the properties, the offering on them, and I hope that this is going to help you build and grow your own house flipping business as well. Until next time, bye for now.